Bitcoin is creating a gigantic CME gap, and at the same time, it is right now finding support at this very important level of this falling wedge support. And in this video, I will give you guys an update on my current ongoing trade that is already worth more than 140,000 US dollars. I will also talk about the most important support of Bitcoin that is currently providing support, and much more important stuff that currently is playing out here for the price section of Bitcoin. So without any further ado, don't forget to slap up that like button on today's update video. Can we once again smash up the likes back above 500? That will be absolutely incredible. And with that being said, let me jump straight away in towards the content. So like we do know, if we will be looking at the CME futures chart, we can see that Bitcoin is still sitting around 26.5k, because 26.5k was the level the CME futures closed at. Once Bitcoin is going to go in towards the Monday, so tomorrow, we're going to open up the CME futures price again. And if we will remain to be trading around this level we're currently trading on, we will create a gigantic CME gap of an about 800 to 700 US dollars. And usually what happens if a CME gap tends to get created is that either Bitcoin tends to fill them up next week, or either it's already going to get filled up on the Sunday. So what I will be expecting here is that actually the CME gap is probably going to get filled up next week here. There could be also a possibility that Bitcoin is going to pump already back towards the upside, because if you're looking at the last times we created CME gaps, here we were trading above the CME gap, and it took us an approximately 2 days before we filled it up here, and once again came back down to 26.5k. Here it just took us a few hours before filling up the CME gap. Here we created the CME gap, and it took us an approximately 2 days after the CME gap opened again to fill it up. We created the CME gap, and on the Monday we already filled it up again here. So right now we could be once again see something similar, that Bitcoin is going to pump back towards the upside at the end of the Sunday. So we are not going to create a CME gap at all. But tomorrow, if we will be trading around this level again, we will create a significant CME gap, and then I will be expecting we're going to actually see a small move towards the upside beginning next week here. So there are many more reasons why Bitcoin could start to be moving exponentially next week here. Next week there will be also a lot of economic volatility. Why? Is because first of all, on the Tuesday we will be having the CPI reports, and on the Wednesday we will have the FOMC meeting. I will be live streaming both of these events on my channel, so don't forget to subscribe to the channel to stay exactly up to date, because I will be live streaming these events, and I will be placing some live trades on Bitcoin to know and anticipate where the market is going towards. And usually, like we can see from history out of this chart, there's a lot of volatility once these events happened, and due to the fact that the CPI data comes out 1 day before the FOMC meeting, the market doesn't really have a lot of time to price in where the inflation is going to come in at and what the Federal Reserve is probably going to do. So that is going to probably bring a lot of volatility to the market. And we can currently see that the US inflation consensus is going to come in around 4.1%, and that is going to be a drop of 0.8%. And we're even expecting that in July we're going to see a drop down to 3%. So inflation looks to be dropping very quickly, and that is also why the expected interest rate will be not another rate hike, but they will pause the rate hikes, what would mean that they're going to not increase the interest rates once again, and that will be considered extremely bullish for all markets. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of volatility on that event. At the same time, we're trading on very important support. You can see I opened at least more long positions on this level. You can straight away see Bitcoin retested this level, we're bouncing from it. On the daily time frame you can see it as well, and usually this pattern tends to be breaking out towards the upside. To be exact, a falling wedge breaks towards the upside 8 out of the 10 times, and that is definitely a very bullish pattern if you would ask me here. Also, looking at my trade, currently you can see it's a 140,000 US dollar Bitcoin long position, only 2% in profit, but of course it's a swing trade, and like you can see, I set up multiple orders on the lower side for in case Bitcoin is going to come lower. I am going to actually add more margin towards this trade, because I am planning to be building up a 1 million US dollar Bitcoin position, but I'm not going to necessarily do it on $25,000. I would really like to add more margin once Bitcoin goes a little bit lower. So that is the thing I will be waiting for right now. That is the thing I will be doing right now here. So I need to be a little bit more cautious. I need to be a little bit more patient. But if Bitcoin comes down further, I'm going to add more margin. If Bitcoin shoots up towards the upside from this level, I've got a 140k Bitcoin long position, and I'm going to take my profits along the way up here. So if you're interested in following my journey, subscribe to the channel, and also if you're interested in trading yourself as well, go go to the link in the description to BitGet, because BitGet allows you to trade without KYC, without VPN, and you can actually withdraw over 30 Bitcoins on a daily limit, and that is definitely very beautiful to see. Furthermore, we can see that actually on the daily time frame, Bitcoin is right now at this critical level of support I've been talking about. It's at the low of the Luna collapse. It is at the high of this very important resistance in the market, and right now we are seeing this level getting retested. I think it's a big opportunity. We're seeing this retest right now taking place. We're seeing the falling wedge getting created on the daily time frame for Bitcoin. You can even argue it's right now a bull flag that we're creating, so there's definitely some very bullish charts that are currently getting printed. And even if you're looking at the weekly time frame, you can call that there is a cup and handle pattern getting created, and a cup and handle pattern is the most bullish pattern you can literally create here. It's basically also a mix of the falling wedge and basically the price recovery that we created. You can also see on the weekly time frame that this is even a weekly inverse head and shoulders retest. So all the charts are pointing towards a very important level of support that currently is trading below us, around $24,000 to $25,000. I am not necessarily expecting there's going to be a straight shoot towards the upside form of this level. However, it definitely could be happening. I do, however, think it's a good level to be buying. I've been bearish on Bitcoin on 31k, and I literally flipped bullish on Bitcoin on 25.3k, literally at the point I open up this trade here. So I have been bullish on Bitcoin once we are literally hitting the lows and hitting support, and I've been bearish once we hit the resistance on the top side. So get ready for this here. We can also see here on the Bitcoin dominance chart is that the Bitcoin dominance is breaking bullish, and altcoins are currently having a little bit of a harder time here, so be aware for that. My target is that actually Bitcoin dominance is going to increase to 52%, and it looks to be very likely to see that happening as well. At the same time, we can currently see Bitcoin, the cycle is just once again repeating. You can see the orange vertical lines here. The orange vertical lines stand for the Bitcoin halving events. We're just a few weeks out here, literally. I mean, we're literally only 40 to 50 weeks out here before the next Bitcoin halving is going to be there. And if you look at the previous cycles here, usually you tend to see a small little run up before we actually have the Bitcoin halving. So you can see it happening every single time here. I will be expecting we're going to see something similar happening again here. So let's see how it's going to be playing out here. At least we broke the monthly downtrend like we have done every single time in the past. And basically every single time we've broken the monthly downtrend, Bitcoin's seen at least a significant rally towards the upside. Not in a straight go, just like we're having right now, but at least we saw some relief towards the upside. And you can clearly see this time around it's not different. It's not different. We're breaking once again the downward sloping monthly time frame. And also for the Bitcoin halving, it is not going to be different this time. Bitcoin, its supply will only shrink in the future, what will make it an even more scarce asset, and that will inevitably give it a more bullish bias edge and a more higher price scenario in the future, almost 100% certainly. So make sure to get ready for the future. Make sure to get ready for the next Bitcoin halving. I am looking at this. But anyways, this was it for me in today's update video. Thank you so much for watching towards amazing new update video. I hope to catch you guys on the next one. Peace out. Goodbye.